Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. If you can hear me loud and clear, please give me a one real quick. I need to know I'm using my new mic. Thank you, Mario Williams, for that super chat. He said, great topic, and even better conversation. Everybody should be paying attention to this, man. I appreciate you, brother. My homeboy from Richmond, Kentucky. Shout out to the NTZ crew. Jacob Tanjay's on here. I don't know if Michael Beach Your Life is on here or not. All my old heads, Doubtful Genius. I see Raymond Walker on here. All my fourth quarter members, Jeffrey Tyler. What times it travels? What's up, man? Cisco International. So what's up, Cal? Sunshine Shoulders crew. Any new viewers and subscribers join us today? Welcome. And anybody catching this on replay. He says a meeting conversation with the Sunshine Shoulders community. What's up, Raymond? Are you still in Manila? You made it back home? That's Roger Walker. The peso is 56.87, which is a great rate. I'm not going to complain. What's up, I love the time? He said, I'm at the San Diego airport. That's Jacob Tanjay. It's down a little bit from the 57.17 the last time that I spoke to everybody. But that's still great. I'm uploading a video now talking about how credit card fraud is on the rise over because they never asked me for my ID when I use my credit card, no matter where I go, man. And it's just a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, I use Capital One. I don't have to tell them where I am, even though just in case I have a problem, because when I did my walk from San Carlos City to Dumaguete, I was a victim of credit card fraud on one of the credit cards I don't even use. I don't even know how they got. I mean, they had all my information. As a matter of fact, 4 of my credit cards were. They're on the route and call and get all that situated. That's a good thing about using credit cards, though, because you can file that complaint. What's up, Michael Alexander? But look for that video. It's uploading now. It's just kind of, slow because I'm using the Wi-Fi here in Dumaguete. I'm in Heidi's cabin. Y'all know I don't stay anywhere else. What's up, Kevin Warren? Police officer here, man. He's a good guy. He's a younger guy, though, see. And a lot of what you experience overseas is different than me, man. Hey, I'm an old man, but the things you're talking about, I probably would have pushed back on too when I was 45 coming over here in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. But yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm getting my visa extension. But I want to talk about some things that we normally don't talk about. Okay. Every rule right now. I mean, every vlogger with a channel, is making a quick buck off of it. I didn't make one on it because I don't see what the big deal is. I've always self-imposed that rule. I've always respected people's privacy. That's why you always see me somewhere either walking by myself or in my yard or somewhere like this. I've been over here a long time, guys. I know how things move over here. I'm not an expert on the Philippines or Filipinos, but I know that they don't want their camera stuck up in their face. Because people tell me all the time, hey, Cal, why don't you do more walk arounds in the city and interview more people. Nope, I've been knowing that, man. So it's not going to affect me. And then if you're a tourist, certainly if your intention is right, I don't think you'll have a problem. You can take nice photos of Baraka or wherever you are over here without intruding on somebody's privacy. But it's for bloggers who need that as part of their repertoire. That's their forte. Those are the ones that are going to be affected, you know, but it's no big deal to me. I don't see why everybody's worried about that. And the thing about it is, look, then they got to enforce it. Is it going to be enforced? Are they just putting it there on the books? So when another Vitali or somebody like that is arrested, they can slap that charge on them. I don't know why y'all so interested in that rule. Y'all got to understand, man, the Philippines is a unicorn. I try to tell you that. It's so different than where you from. And the longer you stay here, the more you'll like it. As long as you don't sweat the small stuff, because there's a lot of small stuff over here. They get on people's nerves. They can't handle it. So they start talking about the infrastructure and all that. What's up, Q? Are you still in the Philippines? Or are you back in the States? Yeah, as long as you don't sweat the small stuff over here. A lot of people talk about sometimes they go to the restaurant or the grocery store and the people, their attitudes, right? But you don't know what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. A lot of times. We have no clue of what they have to deal with, And once you be over here for a long time, you ain't even sweating that. I try to keep the focus on myself. But no, I didn't make a video like that. And I'm not going to make a video like that. This is YouTube and it's all about views. You got to get the clicks to get any money. I'm straight with that. I have to bring up other stuff like we're going to talk about today, like objectification in society. Who's to blame for that? Because it happens to men and women. See, when I make a video like that, last time I checked, I had 2,000 views on that. Really? See, when people are in such denial, and we're going to talk about that today, certainly in the context of Filipino and foreigner relationships. It's all over the place over here. Okay, but in order to get better at something, even just to acknowledge it, you got to be honest. But let's talk about what objectification is, first of all, and what it isn't. Okay, the act of treating a person as an object or a tool. Now, that's important because I'm going to come back to that. Rather than as a human being with thoughts, feelings, and abilities. And what it is, when you find somebody attractive, that doesn't mean you objectify. Okay, I know a lot of people, they had a shit and hemorrhage, when I said, when you simply choose your woman based on her looks and her body. I didn't say when you choose a woman based on her. I said when that's the only criteria you use. See, objectification, in my opinion, because I'm not an expert on this, is the reason why a lot of us have these jacked up relationships. We're just going by the outside of a woman. Okay, or a man. What's up, Jacob? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. But there's another definition I wanted to put on here too that I found. It says, considering a person only in terms of what they can provide or how they can serve others. See, that hits over here. Yeah, Blizzard, bro. Let me get this one. He says, I'm not blurring anything. Just don't have your camera all in people's faces. Yeah, see, but when I watch your videos, you don't That's not your forte. I can go, I mean, as many people as on Boracay Beach right now, I can make 10 videos and never intrude on anybody's privacy or anything like that. If people want you to, oh, walk through the mall, show us what's going on. No, you need to come over here. And there's enough videos already made. But you don't have to do this. Okay, remember when Derek Q made that video of those people in that area, that squad, but it wasn't a squad there, it was like a slum. And I said, man, I wouldn't do that because you can just see how uncomfortable the people were. They don't want you to see them like that. Even though that's their reality, they don't want you to see it because what happens over here is this. You be on the bus and you'll see a woman, a man, they dressed up, they're looking real, real nice on the bus stop. But that's where they come from. They hurry up and get out of there, you know, and become somebody else. But that's why I don't do it. I mean, you don't have to come up with a law to tell me not to do it. I'm not any better than anybody else, but I don't want anybody doing me like that. But I'm telling you, it's the enforcement. They're gonna wait until they catch somebody for something like Vitali did, and they're gonna say, okay, here's another charge for you. Because trying to catch all the cameras and cell phones that's going on over here, man, good luck to that. Good luck to that. Good luck with that. Cisco says, and they were too polite to tell him they didn't want to be seen in video. Well, you know, see, a lot of these guys, they're called these mall hawks. That's what I call them. And that's exactly what they are. They stake out in these malls and different places. They harass you. They follow you around. Hey, let me get an interview and all that stuff like that. You know, put you all on camera like that. You know, they harass. That's a form of harassment. And how many people, and then when you do see them talking to people who've given them consent, how many people do they have to ask before they get one interview me? But those are the ones who are going to, and even he says, Cisco, you have a good channel, bro. Respect. I didn't see his channel. I didn't know he had one. But yeah, let's get back to what we were talking about today. Is this, you know, objectification? Because you know you're always gonna get pushback. It doesn't matter what you say on YouTube or social media, you're gonna get pushback. Is objectification natural? Are we just making too much out of something? Or is it a real problem for people? See, that's why I wanted to have the discussion today. Because it's so, what's the word I want to use? I'll write it down. Let's see if I wrote it down. Because it could be, yeah, pervasive, meaning, you know, it's just so widespread in our society that there's really nothing you can do to avoid it or eliminate it. Is it so pervasive that, you know, it's like, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, it's been put into my subconscious mind anyway. I mean, it's all over our society. It's all over the world. It would be something like the cell phone and the internet. Objectification is that deep in our society. And number one, it's acceptable. You know, the language and all of that stuff. You know, the music especially. He said, define objectification. I never heard that word. Okay, it's when you treat a person as an object or a tool, Q, rather than as a human being with thoughts, feelings, and abilities. Okay, let me give you some examples, okay? Like these, social media. You see, If the woman is attractive, she's not on social media and these shorts and stuff like that, these short videos and different things, these reels on Facebook. If they ain't got the titties popping out, you know, the pie showing, you know, the BBL and all of that, because, you know, men and women, we both contribute to it. It's so pervasive in our society. It's not going anywhere. But, okay, the media, the film and television, advertising, when they sexualize women and men to sell a product, that's objectification, when you treating people as an object. Okay, in this dating thing over here in the Philippines, you hear people say, my Filipina, and then they push back on that. I'm like, dude, let me tell you what my means. I'll put it down here. It says my is a possessive pronoun used to indicate ownership of personal possession. So when they say my Filipino, you know, let's just be honest, okay? Because this is the pushback I was getting. Oh, they look at us as ATM machines. Okay, that's where it says. That's what it says right here. It says you're treating a person as an object or a tool. Okay, it says considering a person only in terms of what they can provide or how they can serve others. So they look at us as ATM machines, a tool, okay? And we look at them as a piece of meat that we can pound into oblivion, basically, a trophy. Okay, this didn't just start yesterday, okay? I just want to talk about some different things, man, that's relevant to our situation, to coming over here to the Philippines, you know. When you make remarks, it says making remarks about someone's looks rather than their abilities or personality. You know, how many times when you go, oh, she's a 1 or a 10? Sexualized language when referring to me and a woman. She's a bad bitch, we'll say. You know, she's got TNA and all of that. But like I said, it may be pervasive. But okay, how do you learn objectification? Well, of course, if you got to be honest, pornography is one. Okay, viewing and sharing content that perpetuates this sort of behavior. When you're only looking at women for sex and women only looking at you for money, you know, he says you will notice someone's appearance long before you know anything about their character. Yeah, we know that, but you guys are missing the point. Finding somebody attractive is not objectification, Willie. Let's have a conversation, guys. Can we have a conversation without everybody trying to be the smartest person in the room? Okay, just for the day, Willie. Can we? Because that's your forte. You come on here all the time. Obviously, okay, that's not objectification. Objectification is when you notice them, but when you, that's all you see. Long after you know them, you can work with the person. Okay, but when you look at these women over here and you want to get involved with them, what are you thinking about? Going playing tennis with them, Willie? You know good and well, if you can be honest. See, we can't have this conversation, guys, unless we're honest. When you see an attractive woman walk across, all sorts of crazy stuff going through your head. It's natural. It's pervasive in our society. You can't uh, avoid doing it. That's what pervasive means. You can't avoid it. You can't eliminate it. It's just like you on the internet now watching me. The only way you're gonna watch me is you gotta have internet and a phone or a computer. It's the same, man. That's all. You can't have this conversation unless you can be honest. You know, we do look at women as sexual objects, man. Okay, when did we not win? when it's your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your daughters, and any important woman in your life. We can tone that down. We can turn that off. But everybody else is fair game. Certainly attractive. Look at these music videos. That's objectification, Q. It's been in your face your whole life, whether you know it or not. When they get on those skimpy bikinis and stuff like that, and that's objectification. Yeah, twerking. Yeah, they look at us like ATM machines, and we look at them like a piece of meat. So I guess we're going to objectify each other to death. But you didn't come over here for this woman to do your taxes, Willie, and any of you guys. Okay? You come over here, it's right in your mind, to spank some behind. And she's hoping that she's going to hit a lick. He said, don't judge people by their appearance, but people will judge you by your appearance. Yeah, it's pervasive in our society. It's not going anywhere. We're not saying, look, guys, y'all need to go back and I'm trying to tell you what objectification means. And, why would you even comment? It's not judging, really. We're talking about the role of movies, advertising, pornography, etc. promotes looking at people as an object rather than as a human being with thoughts and feelings and abilities. Okay? Most women that you see in the movies, they're portrayed as a love interest or eye candy. Why do you watch pornography? You're not worrying about the woman's character. So then when you go back to reality, now every woman you see is in some type of pornography scene. You guys, y'all can't be honest. I mean, you don't have to be honest with me. I know you're a damn lie. I know you what's going on in your damn mind when you see these women like that. But being attracted to someone is not objectification. It's natural because someone says, oh, well, it's natural for you to have women attracted. Yeah, but finding someone attractive is not objectification. Okay. Are we making a bigger deal out of, objectification than it is? Or is it really a problem? I think it's a problem. It leads to a lot of domestic abuse, certainly some relationships. That's why you're on here. That's why you're looking for a woman now, because you don't know what to look for in a woman. Most of us look for a woman based on her looks and her body first. We don't put anything else up there. But y'all gonna be different. Oh no, the Lord sent me somebody. The Lord ain't sent you nobody. He's too busy with all the other stuff going on in the world. The Lord ain't sent you nobody. Oh, I knew when I saw, yeah, because you saw the 36, 24, 36. He's a confident voice speaker. He said, sounds like it may be part of our instinct to be objectifiers of women. Wow. Well, it's learned behavior. They said it's just so pervasive. It's like the cell phone and the internet. You're never going to get rid of that. But there's a reason that you objectify women and they objectify us. It's socially acceptable. It's everywhere you go. You can't avoid it. I want to talk about it and how it affects your life and how can you admit that you're doing it? Because you don't have to admit that you're doing it. Okay? We're not trying to judge anybody. We're not saying that, oh, you're such a dog for doing that when we all do it. There's nobody that isn't tainted by that. I can paint everybody with that brush, okay? Because you can't cut on the TV, internet, anywhere. You can't walk outside, and it's not going on. Women objectify that they contribute to it too. But when they look at you as an ATM machine, or not only, yeah, they're objectifying us. They would objectify each other to death. But people don't even want to admit that they're doing it. It's crazy. He said, that said, my Filipina ish is still cringy. You can at least agree on that, right? Yeah, they're not going to agree on it because whatever you say, certainly me, they're going to push back. Some guy says, oh, it means the same as if I'm saying my son. No, it's not. And you know it's not. If you can be honest, and let's just put it in the context of what's going on over here. You know good and well, we're looking at them as a possession, and they're looking at us as a possession. Okay, the ATM machine, and she's the get it. He said, my Filipino, I chose you like some damn Pokemon. Yeah, my Filipino. My is a possessive pronoun, guys. It indicates ownership. You know, person, we use it when you say my Filipino. You know, maybe saying a Filipino or something like that. But yeah, that's cringy, man, and everybody knows that. But they won't admit it. They won't admit nothing. Yeah, I got crazy pushback on that because people don't want to be honest. But the women that in our lives, we think they deserve dignity and to be treated with dignity and respect. But everybody else, because one guy got on there and said, oh, well, that's just, what did he say? Some type of thinking, healthy, he said, that's a healthy mindset, not to sexualize your mother and the women in your family. Yeah, but if everybody felt that way, then no woman would be getting objectified. But it's not that simple. When you can turn that switch on and off, you can keep it off. When you can look at every woman, because every woman is your sister. Every woman is your mother and your daughter. But that's the contradiction. That's the double standard. Don't disrespect my mother. If I come over there and your mother could be 66, I'll be damn, she got a fat ass. You're gonna be pissed off. We'll be fighting probably. But you can look at a nice looking 66-year-old woman walking in the street. Look, Cal, look at the fat ass she got on her. That's somebody else's mother and sister and daughter. That's all I'm saying. It's just pervasive, guys. I just want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the new rule or new law for bloggers, which hasn't even, has it went through, I know maybe they passed the House, has it passed the Senate? Did y'all realize there is Constitution over here? Just because they bring it up doesn't mean it's law already. And is it going to be enforced? I see everybody talking about one guy, he's a popular guy. He claims he's leaving the Philippines because of it. I'm like, dude, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. I mean, all you got to do is just switch it up. Yeah. He said, also, to keep it funky, most of the dudes aren't spending a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money for them. But this is just a conversation where we need to be honest. See, because when we put on women, to sell products. Okay, that's objectification cue. Film and television says the reinforcement of stereotypes through character depictions. Who ever seen the Friday series? And they see that lady over Chris Tucker, and she bending over and all that stuff. See, that's objectification. And of course, music and videos. I just want to talk about something. I want to get y'all's view on it and how it affects you. And do you do it? Of course you do it. He said, I said it was me using a foreign girlfriend or wife as a new status symbol. My house, my Corvette, my Filipina. Yeah, it's an object or a tool. That's a great example. But we won't admit it because we're all perfect over here. He says, I'm seeing way too many vlogs on leaving Thailand. Yeah. Once people see, you got to be a vlogger to understand this. Once they see, he got a lot of views on that, let me make one. Instead of coming up with vlogs based on their personal experience, we're over here in the Philippines. We're over here in Thailand, the place where so many people want to be. You don't have to make up stuff. Just tell them about the life you live. You can walk around and all that without, harassing people. But no, we'll do that. Oh, why so many people leave Thailand, all that. The reason the numbers are down in Thailand is the reason they're down in the Philippines. A lot of these Asian countries are pulling back. They haven't been traveling. I don't know why. Is it the fear of the safety? Is it monetary? But when the Chinese pull back, that's going to affect your numbers. And that's what's going on in Thailand and the Philippines. But yeah, they'll make a bunch of videos. Turn on YouTube right now. All that we can talk about in the Philippines. And every vlogger wants to talk about this new law that they're not even going to abide by. They're not even going to abide by it. Okay, it's not going to affect most of you people because you'll never come over here. I don't know why we're so interested in that. I didn't make a video on that. Well, boy, there's enough videos out there already. What can I do to add to the conversation? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Ron Lawson says, hey, Cal, objectification is how the unspoken agreement starts. But if it stays that way for the duration of the relationship, that could be a problem. Well, the unspoken agreement is objectification. You're not even looking at her for her character or her abilities. Okay, you're saying, okay, when I get over here, I'm going to take care of you, but when I get over here, you're going to take care of me. And you know what taking care of me is. Okay, we're looking at these women over here like a piece of meat to be pounded into oblivion. And then they're looking at us as an ATM. He's going to pay all my bills. He's going to buy me a house and lot, a car. A human being. That's what objectification is. It's dehumanizing. You're a tool now. You're not even real for real. You don't have any feelings, any thoughts or anything. If you don't believe me, be over here long enough and deal with a woman. She thinks that you don't have any feelings. You're not supposed to get angry and all that. You're supposed to just keep on, sliding that card or whatever it is. I've been over here long enough, man. I know how stuff moves over here. I'm not an expert, but I can give you that. I can give you that commentary right there. But when we turn it around, see, that's why we always want to keep the mirror up and the focus on the Filipino, because we don't want to turn that mirror around and look at us. So, in the context of Filipino women, just like I said on the video, the media stereotypes these women over here, paints them all. It's all Filipinos as submissive, exotic, scammers, gold diggers. leaves out just 95% of the other women, doctors, lawyers. Remember, there's been 2 women in the Philippines who have become the president, the commander in chief over here. So when you don't promote that side, you don't get an accurate representation of Filipino women. You think that they're all on the dating site. That's why I always say there's a select group of women that we deal with, that deal with us, who are on their dating site. The rest of them, man, you couldn't deal with them. They don't want to deal with you no more than the women in your country want to deal with you. But there's a demand for it too, I wrote down here. You platforms, man, you see over here to get a whole lot of support because they objectify women. I'm not down in them. We're just talking about the facts, guys. That's what we're talking about today. Objectification in society. Who's to blame? Because we accept it. Some traditions that cultural practices that prioritize looks over their ability. Well, they're big over here. All of that, they ask you one question at the end. What are you going to do about poverty in the world after they've already made you parade in front of millions of people basically naked? Okay, there is no big Shirleys that have won Miss Universe or Miss America or Miss Philippines, and it never will, because it's based on one's appearance. You're not even going to get to semifinals. You're not even going to the preliminary round unless the game or 15, see, you know. And then we don't talk about it enough. It says insufficient discussion. So I'm talking about it now, but we don't even talk about it enough. We're all in denial about it. Yeah, like I said, they're objectifying us, and we're objectifying them. So we're going to objectify each other. When is it going to end? But it's never going to end because it's being beat into the head. Media, social media, TV and films, advertising. You don't see ugly women on television, man, unless they're the story. I mean, come on, guys. I know what objectification is. It goes beyond being attractive. He says, you look good, I pay those. Yeah. And as long as, I put an independent woman in the Philippines. That was the name of the video. And they didn't watch that. Doesn't need an old, ugly foreign man. See, that's the reality of it. They see you. It's like the emperor with no clothes. If you heard that story, right? Everybody he looked, how young he looked, and he's lost so much weight. Who's got her own job, her own house, her own car, her own business, and whatever. She sees you for who you are. You're like, that old man, I wouldn't be seen with him. Who wants an old man like that? Look at him wrinkled, and everything else about him. They're going to tell you the truth. We don't want the truth. So we come over here, and then it's okay y'all okay with being objectified, to be seen as a tool, to be seen as an ATM machine. Just don't see me as the old ugly foreign man that I am. Look at me as whatever else but that. But that's all we want to do is talk about it, guys. He said, good morning, Chad. What's up, Beat Your Life? Even when you look in politics, certainly in America, because we think that a woman, see, that's objectification. We don't think a woman's capable of running America because of all the stereotyping that we do to women over there. What happens when she's on a period? And, you know, she's so emotional and all of that. See, all of that role playing and stuff, even the roles that we assign each other in our relationship, it's objectification. You can't get away from it. You can't avoid it. But I just want to hear y'all side of it because I'm not in denial. You say, yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, share the video, comment, you know, whatever it is. But the derogatory language, you know, I tell you guys, hey, it's probably better to pick up the woman or to meet the woman on the dating site than trying to meet her in person because now it's gonna hinge on harassment and objectification. That's what it's gonna hinge on. It's gonna get real cringy. So you should stick to the dating site because you don't know the traditions over here. You don't know the culture over here. It's not the same in your country as it is over here. And this is the thing that goes over people's heads. We come over here and act as if we're at home and everything works the same way. It doesn't. That's why when they come up with these laws, like they came up with this blogging law, oh, we lose our minds. Oh, what are they doing? You know, it's just too much, right? No, it's the Philippines. That's all it is. Hey, Q in the Philippines, thanks for that super chat. He said, we objectify when we purchase a car. What makes you think she's any different from a Honda Civic? I paid, so it's mine. In the story, it's mutual. No, you don't objectify when you when you buy a car because a car is not a human being. I think you're missing the point, Q. But yeah, thanks for your perspective. No, she's not yours. She doesn't belong to you. She's a human being with her own thoughts and feelings who make her own decisions. She don't need you to make her own decisions. She has own abilities, her own unique set of abilities. That's what objectifying is. She don't belong to you. Objectification right there. Women don't belong to you. And then it says, you know, individuals, both men and women, you're right about that. It is mutual. Especially women often introduced um, in, in for their physical appearance or sexual desirability. All you got to do is look on the news, look on, you know, the big stars now. A lot of them, certainly the singers, you know, you just don't see many ugly women out there, man. But it says, you know, it's like I was talking about dehumanization. It says viewing humans as less than human, stripping away their individuality and personhood. So that's what we do to them and they do to us. It is mutual. If you're only looking at me as a paycheck, somebody to pay your bills, yeah, that's objectification. But it's just so pervasive, it's not going anywhere. Okay, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here to the end of time. They're going to beat it in your head. It's already there. You're not going to get rid of it. I don't care how many confessions you go to. I don't care if you can join the deacon's board. You can become the preacher. He's up there looking at women and sexualizing women. And the devil made me do it. It's there. So can we at least talk about it? Because that's one of the reasons it's so pervasive. We don't talk about it. We act like, oh, if we don't talk about it, it's not going to happen. It's not there. I'm sorry. It's crazy, man. But yeah, somebody put a 1 in there if my sound is okay. I'm using my new microphone today. I'm kind of anxious to hear what that sounds like. But it may already be uploaded. It's talking about the credit card fraud is on the rise. Be careful over here. A lot of people, they say, I don't want to use my credit card over in the Philippines. Well, I don't see why you would. It's really the only way to get the 56.87 Forex rate. If I use my credit card and save more, and whatever I buy, they're giving me 56.87. I always use pesos. Okay, there's no percentages or anything like that they're taking off. Yeah, my internet connection is choppy because it is what it is. Although I'm showing 5 bars. Thank you for that. Thank you. He said, yeah, one, but the video is barging. What were you saying? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what internet they have. But the point is, I think my audio sounds a lot fuller. He says, are you just a troll or do you actually believe what you're putting out there? Controversy to turn up the comments. Come on, man. I'm a content creator, true. You a troll. You a hater. You certainly don't watch my channel. I've got 3,000 videos. I don't have to make up anything. I just like to talk about different stuff. Okay, if you want to talk about, you go to all those other videos, they're talking about the same thing over and over. No, I don't have to do that. Okay, I told you I'm in business with YouTube. Okay, to run up the comments. That is how you get paid on YouTube, true. Maybe there y'all go in people's pockets. Yeah, I believe in objectification because I do it. And you do it too. Okay? Jesus. It's the true Jesus to be your name since you put. Okay, you like to see a nice looking woman running in slow motion on a beach somewhere in Brazil. Okay, with everything jumping up and down. You don't give a damn what religion she is, or how much education she's got, or whether or not she knows Chinese arithmetic or not. Let's just get honest, man. You guys can't be honest, so y'all come on here and, it's always the personal attacks. That's what shows you how low you guys are. You can't even have just a regular conversation, okay, because you get triggered by real life conversation. Oh, the vlogging law is what you want to talk about. Look at it. We can't booty watch in secrets what you're really doing. But y'all like that. That's objectification. You want people to walk around and show you all the beautiful women in the Philippines. You don't know them. Okay. All you want to do is just look at them and then fantasize in your mind. That's objectification. It's never going to end. I'm not judging you. That's but up anything. Let's see what you can make up. You guys come over here. They don't have the courage enough to get on here and tell the world how they really feel. So when somebody does do, here they come with the personal attacks. Get off of here with that foolishness, man. Okay? Have that same energy when you see people in public. You guys are so tough behind the scenes. I mean, that's a weak reason not to get into it with somebody. See, that's another thing about men today. We lose our lives over the simplest stuff. Okay, it's all these old petty beefs. And that's what sells today. He says, if I was on any island, especially the West Indies, I already know what time it is. Green card. I say women in the States are looking to fulfill their desires, not necessarily money. But if you don't think you're being objectified over there, Hassan, you're fooling yourself. It doesn't matter. Whenever a woman looks at you as a tool to use to get to where she's going, whatever her desires are, it's objectification. If you make a video about objectification, imagine guys like True, and you're in the Philippines, okay, where it's just glaring, it's just so prominent, it's right there in your face. Okay, that shows you the state of the YouTube universe out there. It's obvious over here. It's so thick, you can cut it with a knife here. But if you bring it up, people get angry. Oh, you're making this up. You know good and damn well I'm not making it up. Okay, my Filipina is the most cringiest thing you could ever hear somebody say over here. And they say, oh, she's mine. This is the one I've had. She belongs to me. I own her. I paid for her, like Q said. So she's mine. This is how I'm only with him for his money. So I'm going to tell him everything he wants to hear. Oh, you look good. I call it the Filipino makeover. Oh, you lost weight. I didn't think you was 62. You look 42. Okay? Imagine all the pushback I got when it's apparent. You can't get around it that objectification is, is all the way up over. It's turned all the way up in the Philippines in the context of our relationship. Again, we're not judging anybody. He's talking to Q. What's he talking to? I don't know. He said, I'm a boss, and this is my thinking in life. It's true. What the hell I need to troll for? I thought he was talking to me. It's just hard to, it's hard to really know. I keep forgetting that there's so many conversations going on in the live stream. My apologies to True. He said, also, Cal, God punishes your bandwidth every time you tell me how perfectly fine Filipino internet is in the chat. I mean, in my internet, this is different than mine, TJ. Now, internet is going to be spotty no matter where you live. It just depends on what internet connection you got. Okay, again, I say now we're both Americans, TJ, right? The infrastructure in America is crumbling, guys. Where have y'all been? We don't have any right to talk about anybody's infrastructure, certainly with the high taxes we've got over there. I mean, our infrastructure, man, is teetering on, man, if y'all only knew. But you don't take the time to know. We just keep on hearing that lie over and over. It's the greatest country in the world. The United States infrastructure is crumbling. Okay, when's the last time we've done anything to improve the infrastructure? And the reason is people aren't paying their share of taxes. That's what taxes is for. To improve the internet, I know that Biden had allocated billions of dollars to fix the infrastructure, right? To improve it. Okay, that should be a priority, especially when you're going to charge me 40% for my taxes. But anybody from America has no right to talk about anybody else's infrastructure. Now, if you were in Japan or Singapore or somewhere like that, where the infrastructure is a whole lot better than America's, then maybe you could thumb your nose. But to come from America, where Amtrak is our high-speed rail system, guys, y'all be ashamed of yourself. Certainly, go back in 2007, the I-35W bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a whole section of it collapsed You know what they thought at first? Oh, excuse me. It's a terrorist attack. No, it's bad infrastructure. It's crumbling. We don't invest in our infrastructure anymore. So for an American, uh, oh yeah, that could be it too. You're right, Blizzard Brown. He could probably because you're uploading at the same time. I never realized that, and you're right because whenever you're on StreamYard and YouTube at the same time, let me. Well, it's too late. Is it that bad? If it's that bad, I stop the uh, uploading of video. I mean, y'all don't want to watch important information like that anyway. Y'all want to watch. It says it right here. It's true. There's a demand for platforms that objectify women. Certainly over here. Okay, that's how those women bloggers over here got so big because they're not talking about anything. We just want to look at the beautiful young woman on the screen, and she'll get up every now and then and sashay over to the sink and wash her hands and sashay back. Or she might have another Filipino sitting next to her. This is all we want to do. It's just simply based on their appearances. It's nothing. Information is going to help you. But for people to get angry when you bring up something like uh, objectification and you're sitting smack dab in the middle of the Philippines in the context of foreign and Filipino relationship, I'm going to talk about like the young guy say, that's crazy work. That's crazy work, man. But let me see something, guys, because I don't want to do that to y'all. I can always, let me see something real quick. Hold on, guys, okay? I'm going to stop that video because I don't want that. I can always um, upload that again. Okay. No, that video is almost uploaded. We ain't got much longer to go. Okay. But I think it is so pervasive. What's up, Mo? He said, "Good morning, Cal from Davao City, brother." I consider this guy a friend of mine. Now, you actually in Davao now, or are you still on Samal Island? That would be the number one reason I would move to Davao anyway. He said the internet quality makes you look like with Grimace, yeah. But they say I look like Mike Tyson. Say I look like a bunch of people, but me. But yeah, it's almost over. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. Well, Philippines has his own channel. Okay, but you're not gonna get. You see how tough he talks on here. He doesn't talk that way on his channel. See, that's the whole point of I don't understand it. People will come on my live streams and stuff and talk crazy as hell, but he's got a whole channel. But if you go over there, he's not in this red pill stuff. I went to his channel. He's got a lot of videos and stuff too. You know, he's got a well-established channel. I don't know if he's monetized or not, but he talks, 10 karat crazy on my channel. But I went over there. I said, well, who is this Q in the Philippines? You know, he's a young brother, but he's not talking on his own channel the way he's talking over here, which is crazy. That's crazy work, Q, you know, because he knows that nobody's going to see him on my live stream. So he can say all that crazy stuff he's saying. Make a video, Q, saying, yeah, she's mine. I own her. They'll run you out of the Philippines, dude. Don't do that. You know, you don't have to prove how tough you are. You don't have to prove how big of a boss you are. Don't get yourself in trouble over here. But don't come, I mean, show me some respect, though. I mean, y'all talk 10 karat crazy on my channel. And you got your own channel, you're like quiet as a church mouse. You sitting around, he's going to the market and different things like that, cooking and, different things like that. But on my channel, he's the boss. I mean, make that make sense to me. I'm saying don't get in trouble over here, though, man. You say that stuff on your channel, man, you're crazy. He said, better yet, say it when you get back to her barangay, Q. Yeah, he's not going to do it. Okay, that's what kind of, okay, there's another blogger, I won't say his name. But when he's in the Philippines, he's all up, how great the Philippines is. The minute he gets back home, boy, he trashes the Philippines. Every video is about, down in the Philippines. And I guess Q must not be over here, but he's certainly, I'm not picking on you, Q. It just came to my mind because a couple of days ago, I went on your channel because you just made a crazy comment. I mean, you personally attacked me in my comments. I was like, well, is this the same Q that be on my live stream? And I'm like, I clicked on you, and of course, YouTube keeps up with all y'all's comments. You can't, I can go back and get a comment that you said whenever you start watching my channel. But anyway, I went on your channel. I'm like, this guy's like night and day from what he's talking about in my comments. I'm falling out. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. I've never had a problem at all with any blogger over here. I promise. They have a problem with me. But I do have a problem when somebody has an up and running channel, okay, of their own, and then you make a video and then they're all in your comments bashing you. And I had a problem. This is why me and the black man in the village fell out. He fell out with me. I didn't fall out with him. He never done anything to make me fall out on him. But I made a video and I believe I was talking about we're the prize, right? And man, he ripped me up one side and down the other in the comments. I was like, hey, brother, and this is what I said. I said, hey, man, why don't you take that on your channel? Don't do that, man. I would never do your channel that way. They just made it worse. And so we fell out over that. It's just so petty, man, in these day and age. And grown men, but that's just people feel the need that they can come on your channel and say whatever they want to say, but on their channel, it's crickets. That's all. He said, looking like one of those kids whose parents let them cuss in the bathroom by themselves. See, I'm pushing people to his channel, so he can talk that stuff on his own channel and build his own, following and everything. But, don't come on here acting like a boss, man. Then when you go over there, you kuya on your damn channel. It's crazy. Yeah, but he's got his own channel. I actually like a videos he's making. Nobody's gonna watch them because we only want to watch the stuff that's objectifying women over here. If you're not objectifying women over here, you're not gonna get anywhere. See, I was doing it without even realizing I was doing it. I was just telling y'all my life about the Filipino tune-up and all that stuff like that. But they're gonna point the finger at you because they're not gonna admit that we're being objectified too. The only reason I'm sitting in this seat right now with a woman, that's, 20 years younger than me is because I'm seen as a paycheck. I can make those videos all day long. As a vlogger, if you're going to tell the truth over in the Philippines, you're stuck in the middle. If you tell those videos, if you make videos like that, the men are going to get mad at you. If you tell the real story about, what happens when you get up, when you finally get over here, now the Filipinos are going to get mad at you, and some of the foreigners who think it doesn't apply to them. So you just got to make your content, man, and be able to deal with the consequences. But I'm going to always tell the truth. None of my videos you can say I'm lying and I'm making up stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. He said, is that video about credit card fraud, Cal? Yeah. Did it already upload? Ron? Nobody's going to watch it anyway. This is going to 100% help you. I'm going to tell you right now, be careful, because if somebody steals your credit card without you knowing it, like that girl, she's going to hit you a few times before you realize it because nobody asked for ID over here. That's one of the reasons I made the video. Because, okay, I was thinking, Merle was like, before we came to Dumaguete, she's like, I need to go to the store, to buy the kids some stuff and make sure, they got what they need while we're gone. And I didn't have any cash. And at first I was going to give her my ATM machine. I was like, ain't no need for me to give her my ATM machine. Take this credit card and go to the grocery store. And she said, you sure they're going to ask me for ID? No, they're not. That's the end of the story. They did. Yeah, he's a brother, and we're not picking on him. I want to see him succeed, but he talks 10 karat crazy on my channel. He came at me so hard on one of my comments, I couldn't believe it. So I clicked on him. I was like, that's the same Q. I mean, he personally attacked me, and I'm like, dude, it's not all that, okay? It's not all that. It's not that serious. Yeah, he said, you think bro is getting a check for the Philippines based on how affable bro is. And his content is fairly interesting. I didn't pause it earlier. Yeah, I mean, I told you I go on there and he's got a good channel for real about the stuff he's doing. He's like night and day though. That's why I had to click on there when he came at me the way he does. Of course, he talks 10 karat crazy in these comment sections over here. I was saying this isn't the same Q on my channel, but it was. He's like a choir boy on his own channel. All he needs is one of them damn things that the priests wear around their neck. You could call him Brother Q, Father Q. Yeah, Christians to blame. He says Christians to blame. They doing it too. Yeah, a lot of Christians, they're Christians when it's convenient. Somebody's watching Pornhub and all them other things. And 50, is it 53 Shades Darker? No, what's the name of that? The movie, that real sexualized movie. We don't want to watch a movie unless a woman, even look at the cartoons, even the damn cartoons, they draw the women with all these breasts and, behind. And even if you go look at the Marvel movies, there's not an ugly looking woman. They even got all the body and everything. He said, yeah, accuse a brother. He plays a nice brother on TV. Yeah, it's funny, man. But that's how it is, man. They say, well, let me go over here. And he said, I'm going to watch it. And you're going to be shocked. He ain't got no red pill stuff on his channel, man. If he does, I missed it. The video, the first video I watched, he's carrying fruits and stuff and got a woman with him. I think he's getting ready to cook a damn meal or something. He ain't talking red pill on that. Yeah, man. He came at me so from the left field, I couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, damn, Q, I thought you was okay with me. But you know, that's okay. I ain't got nothing against the guy. I'll bring him on my channel if you want to. Yeah, we can still support him because we need more people like Q on here. Oh yeah, right. Yes, we do. Yeah, man. Uh, I met a guy, man. He was so cool. This guy. He was like a friend at first sight. You know, you hear about love at first sight, friend at first sight. And it's a white guy. He just happened to be white. His name is Zach, and he saw me in the IT park in Ayala. And he came up to me. He looked at me first. He said, "You Cal?" He said, "Calvin." You know, and I mean, this guy got personality. Where he said, "Let me say this first. The first thing I'm gonna say to you, all that hate is coming from the brothers, man. It ain't coming from us. It's coming from the brothers." And man, he was so hilarious, man. He had me cracking up the whole. We talked about an hour. He even helped me with my luggage. If he can see that, but he's funny, man, because you know, if you look at him, he looks black, but he looks white. But he said, "Yeah, I'm half black." But he was talking, man, he had me crying because he was talking about, yeah, a lot of these vloggers, they think I'm over here to meet them. He said, "No, I'm over here to kick their ass." All that lying they did about the Philippines. He said, "I'm never hating." He said, "What are you talking about?" He's just talking about my controversial statement. Yeah, a hater doesn't donate money. Yeah, we don't have anything against you, Q. I'm just saying that's how I came upon your channel. It wasn't a controversy, it was a personal attack you made on me. And I was like, you know, Q, like, dude, why we don't even have to go there, you know. But anyway, so I clicked on your profile and then I clicked on your channel. I was like, well, yeah, this is him, but this isn't the Q that be on my channel. He said he's trying to be Diddy. Well, I believe Diddy's getting ready to walk, man. They ain't proved nothing with Diddy. He said the last three Christian girls I dated stole from me, maybe four or five. Yeah, you know, everybody's a Christian, you know, because they say, well, brother, you know, they think that all they have to do is believe and they can do everything else. Yeah, that's so crazy, right? All I could have to do is believe. I can drop bombs over on Iran and I can, you know, shoot people in the back and I'm going to be forgiven. Can do whatever I want, as long as I believe. And then when I get up there, I'm going to hell. You know, they're Christians when they're convenient. If everybody was so religious, man, the world would not be in the trouble it is today. There wouldn't be so much greed going on, certainly in America, the greed that goes on. Is that Christ-like? Yeah, you know, according to the Bible, Jesus was broke. They only talk about him for 1 week of his life anyway. I mean, but he's broke. He ain't got nothing. He says, like if Mark Weens was still in the chat telling you that you can't trust these tire holes as far as you can throw them. He says, any charges from the Philippines are an immediate red flag. That's why I always have to call the credit card company first before traveling, or it will be frozen when I try to use it there. Yeah, see, I don't have to tell Capital One because I did. And it's like, well, you don't have to let us know. You know, but if you have a problem, I'm saying that credit card fraud is on the rise here. It's up 29%, okay, since 2022. And because it said in the article, it said 5% of all credit card holders in the Philippines have been victims of some type of credit card fraud or theft. I mean, it's going up, and it raised a red flag in my head. I was like, no, I mean, okay, I'm not surprised by this because, okay, I'm gonna say this. I went to Watson's yesterday. I said on my live stream because they won't watch my live stream. And I bought Listerine, sold a few things, alcohol, because when I go to the gym, I wipe the equipment down. Maryland don't. I told her, okay, you're gonna pay a price. Well, anyway, same thing. Just give them the card and they stick it in the machine and that's it. Sometimes they'll ask you pesos or dollars, and most times they don't. And I was like, boy, I can see why. Because while you're sleeping there, that woman can take that credit card, man, and use it, a debit card, because they're not looking at it. They just want to see what end of the card the chip is. So when they, uh, put it in the machine. I mean, it's really crazy. He said, prime example of the problem, unifying. Yeah, man, human beings, we need to unify anyway. We really do. I see where that, I see where that ceasefire, sorry guys, it fell out. I see where that ceasefire, they broke it, which I kind of figured they were. You know, yeah, I kind of figured they were. He said, never use your credit card or debit card in the strip clubs in the Philippines. Yeah. But I'm an advocate of using your credit card over here wherever possible. It's gonna save you money, man. If all I had to do was use my Capital One, man, I'd save so much money. Because even when I switch it from Fifth Third to PNB Bank over here in the Philippines, it costs me. They hit me, but if I just use my credit card, it's nothing. I don't get any type of extra charges or nothing. They give me the 5687. But now that I figured out, I got to be real careful because if somebody gets that number, now if you try to use it online, they may ask for some type of security. They might use some type of security to stop you from using it. But if you got that physical card, man, they can run up some stuff. He said you should have told him don't do nothing stupid. But that's the story of our life over here. Don't do anything stupid. He says just controversial statements. No, but you don't make any controversial statements on your own channel. That's right. We're saying that. But you don't do it on your own channel. That's what I was telling you about Elliot Eastman. Elliot Eastman, man, was saying all that crazy stuff. Nobody was watching him, though. It's only hindsight after he came up missing that people start watching his channel. They were like, man, look, he talked about his own kidnapping. Now he was trying to get on YouTube. He didn't want to leave here. Yeah, the preacher called Father Q on his channel. On here, he's bald. He's the boss Q. Make that make sense. Yeah, he's tough over there, but over there he's carrying fruits and mangoes and stuff. But on my channel, man, he's the boss. Yeah, he's the boss over there, Thomas. He said, my channel isn't controversial. Yours is. My channel is just blogging about the Philippines, nothing political. Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, you don't say, what's that got to do with you being a boss? You said it today. You said, I'm a boss. And that's just my way of thinking. You said that I paid for it. The woman is mine. I never heard you say that on your channel. My channel is not controversy. I just talk about real life stuff. It's not controversy. I mean, how could you have the whole United States be at war with Iran and not talk about it? Because all this politics, man, come on. I can think about it, but I can't talk about it. What's the difference? Okay, somebody tell me what's the difference. You can think about it because you're certainly thinking about it. You're certainly scrolling through there looking what's happening now. But if you talk about your political, you're going to lose half of your subscribers. Okay, well, but you got 1,000 other channels or more talking about it getting rich. See? I know that there's a shadow ban on me in the Philippines. When I go to America where they know that it's controversial as hell over there and what I'm talking about is very tame, my numbers go way up. But I got a different, even though I got the same audience, YouTube will show me to different people over there that they won't show me to when I'm here in the Philippines. Because I be knowing what I'm talking about. I'm 62 years old. I'm not 22. When I made that video about America First is bullshit, okay, y'all see that I'm telling the truth. It is no America First. We're supposed to be thinking about the infrastructure. We're supposed to be thinking about our senior citizens and, our veterans. That's America First, not dropping $30,000, 30,000-pound bombs on Iraq Iran. It didn't do anything, by the way. That is not America First. See, that's what America First is. Let's take care of America. Our infrastructure is crumbling, man. And you on TV talking about how tough you are and how tough we are. That's America First. He said you have to lock the swipes in real time after use over that. Yeah, but my point is it's easy to commit credit card fraud because they don't ask for your ID. You could use anybody's credit card over here, man. Okay? I promise you, if you do it 100 times, okay, next, if you're over here in the Philippines, okay, tell me I'm lying. When you use a credit card, they don't ask for ID. They don't say, hey, let me see your ID. And they go, you know how they do in America. They look at your ID and they look at your credit card. Does it match? Over here, they never do it. They've never done it. I don't know if that's out of respect. I don't know what it's about. But I know it's good and it's bad. Yeah, it's good and it's bad. He said that's why you should disable your debit cards, credit cards when you're not using them. Hell, but I mean, what do you mean? Every day you doing that? That is a way to protect yourself. So I'm not gonna knock it, but I mean, you be doing a lot of. If you're doing that many times, one time you're gonna forget. You're gonna lock it, then you're gonna go there. You got you and your girl out eating a good meal, and then the damn card is gonna get denied. I just thought that I would, that was just kind of amazing to me um, when I thought about it. And then when Merlin went to the store and used my card, okay, then I said, watch this, Merlin. We went to the store here in Dumagetti. Same thing. It's crazy. He says, I'm guilty of objectification. We all are. It's pervasive, man. It's not going anywhere. Are we making too much out of it? I guess the red pill guys will tell you we are. You know, they'll say, one guy says, "Oh, that's simp talk." See, that's how people get killed over that. You know, they just attack you, and they go, "Oh, ain't no consequences." And then because men aren't gonna fight. Nobody's gonna take our ass kicking anymore. If you kick their ass, they're probably gonna come back and kill you or have somebody kill you. But this is what we do in today's society. But red pill guys think, oh, you're making too much of it. Women are less than men and all that stuff. When all I was doing was bringing up the conversation. That's all I was doing. Starting the conversation. We're all guilty of it. That's why most of our relationships don't work out. We go with the woman for the wrong reason. We ain't studying her character in the beginning. We're looking at her face and her body. You're gonna lie if you say that's not your number one objective. See, we ain't talking about you being attractive. We're talking about now you're taking it further. Now you're no longer attracted to her. You're trying to hook up with her now. And if that's all you going by is her body and her face, no wonder why we've had 10 and she's had 10 over there. And of course, you're going to get pushback. When you say stuff like that. Oh, not my wife. If you think she told you all the dick she done sucked, do you really think she told you all that? Okay, because she's going to act with you differently than she acts with somebody else. She might let him go in the back door and not you. Hey, Q and Philippines, thanks for that super chat. He said, first of all, this ain't a normal relationship. Did y'all forget? It's pay for play, abnormal. You guys are losing sight. It's my way or the highway. Yeah, if you're going to play on those rules, we're objectifying each other over here. Okay, I got to agree with you there, but it's not my way or the highway. At some point, if you deal with a person long enough, maybe the objectification ramps down some, and maybe you start having some type of real feelings for them. But yeah, I would say in the beginning, she's probably thinking the same way. That's what you call a yes relationship. Q. As long as you say yes, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and she's thinking the same thing. But yeah, she looks at you as an ATM machine. Of course, they're abnormal relationships. That's right out of the Sunshine Show's playbook. There ain't nothing normal about these relationships over here, man. But nobody's gonna want to agree with that because we're all in denial. Like I told you, the woman, this is, if you go out here and you deal with a woman, got her own money, her own job, her own house, her own car, and all of that, she's gonna look at you like the little child did in The Emperor Has No Clothes. It's only these women that we read on the dating sites who see you strictly as an ATM machine. They're gonna give you all that makeover. Okay, I'm sorry. He said on his channel that yes, sir, boss. But we're all right with that, though. We're all right with that. Remember, we're Bill Withers over here, Q. Everybody's Bill Withers over here. If it feels this good getting used, then use me up. It's basically what we're all saying. Okay, we're saying, okay, I'm going to pay for it anyway. Why not have a woman that, I find reasonably attractive? Because I've taken care of Big Shirley before. So and I got something to weigh it up against. Would I rather take care of Big Shirley or Maryland? Probably Maryland, since I'm going to take care of it. Maryland's more cooperative. Okay. Submissive, no. I've always told y'all, Filipinos are submissive to an end. Okay. It's a means to an end. They're not submissive for real. Are they cooperative? Yeah. You know, because I hear Marilyn talking to a friend sometime about, uh, well, it's your obligation, to take care of him and blah blah this blah blah. They really feel that way. It's their, since in their culture. Hey, you're supposed to take care of your man. In that way. If he's taking care of you and doing all that, I've heard her say that. Matter of fact, I heard her say it yesterday. She's talking to some woman, because the woman's talking about, oh, the man can't get it up. Well, it's your obligation. You got to sit there and try to do something to get it up. Don't just say, oh, you can't get it up. He said, that's right, because I didn't need to. Should I have my woman say it? I'll probably make that the next video. Well, I mean, like I said, don't get yourself in trouble, man, trying to prove yourself, man, because all it takes is for the wrong person to hear you say that crazy stuff. They're watching me right now. They watch every video I make. They're waiting for me. But I'm 10 steps ahead of them. I've been knowing they watch. A long time ago when I said, oh, okay, they're watching. Because then they'll come back and make a video about something I said. So, but all it takes is for you to say the wrong thing and the wrong person here. When I'm gonna give you a perfect example, Q. Okay. Now everybody's heard that saying, find them, feed them, fuck them, and forget them, right? Y'all know that I didn't make that up. That's not my invention. Okay. I heard that when I had to been on the playground. I had to been in the 4th or 5th grade or something like that. It's just something that people said, right? So it was in response to the 4M video. See, 4M, it's okay. Remember, I told you it's okay for them to use you and talk crazy about you and objectify you. There's nothing, more than an old man, a rich man, a rich old man. He's quick to die. He's sick and quick to die. 4M. But the minute you turn it around, oh, here they come. And the trolls seen that. They knew. That's why I don't have respect for certain people. They knew that's not my invention. Okay. He said, yeah, fruits and vegetables. So they'll sit there and they'll try to find anything that you say to try to, make the people not like you. What kind of life is that? How could you even call yourself a man if that's what you do? He said, didn't Brandy and Monica sing about the boys, man? Yeah, well, it goes both ways. But remember, it's acceptable, Hassan. It's not going anywhere. But the next time you do it, just remember the vlog I did in the live stream. For all you guys saying that it's not, I don't do it, and it's simp talk, the guy said. I mean, I was like, who are these guys? These tough guys, these alphas. Everybody's an alpha over there. Knowing good and well, I'm like, well, why are you on a Philippines vlog if you got it going on in the streets over there? That's why the streets over there. And you got women all there. Well, what time would you have to be on YouTube? This is for people who are either coming here or already here. They want to leave that rat race. Things aren't the way they want it in their home country. They're looking for their options. It's people who come into your comments just to debate you. And remember, I told you a long time ago, I leave my comments open unless you're attacking me or somebody else, because it's a refuge for us. Because people don't get the chance to share their thoughts at work. You know, they'll fight me, but they'll kiss their boss's ass at work just to keep a job. He said, if your woman don't think you're the boss, then y'all losing. Well, make that could be your next video, Q. If your woman don't think you're the boss, then you're losing. And then your woman's gonna watch that and feel some kind of way. Now she's in love with you already, and it probably ain't gonna make a difference, but you're still gonna be sitting there explaining yourself. But okay, being the boss, what does that do? I mean, does that make you feel, important? When you know, 3 or 4 comments back, you said, oh, it's an abnormal relationship. It's pay for play. And what kind of boss is that? He said, he's accused being a boss and the head of the household are entirely 2 different things. Well, you know, these young guys, man, he's certainly young. He said, damn right, it needs to be talked about. Everyone avoiding every other subject, suffocation, already toxic social arena. Well, they want me to make a video on the vlogging law. And everybody says, is it the end for vloggers? When they know it's not. It's obviously not. It's vlogging over. You know, this is gonna affect. Yeah, y'all done seen the titles. It's hilarious to me. I laugh at it, but I don't knock them because it's all about views on here. If you ain't getting no views, you ain't getting paid. And you know, the guy who says, "Oh, that's self talk," right? I clicked on his channel. He's got like 400 something videos, right? And when I hit him with that, I was like, but nobody's watching your channel, crickets. Guess what he said? Yeah, but my pockets, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. Then why would you sit there and make 438 videos on YouTube if you're not trying to get paid? If you're not trying to get some type of notoriety, gain some type of traction? Who you think you're talking to? You should have learned that a long time ago. And the last video he made was like a year ago. He says, that sucks. I thought Navy Fed already had no fees. He said, my USAA card has no foreign fees. Yeah. Now, somebody was explaining to me, Beach of Life, that they give that back to you on your next, the next statement. You don't get it right away. Or when you stick your card in there, they still take the fees out. They just refund them, right? Is that what they do? How does that work? Because that was so crazy. I should have did that when I was home, but my man wasn't right. And I don't want to mess up anything anyway, because everything's working so fast for me as far as, my direct deposits and all that. I don't want to change nothing. But how does that work? Do they refund it to you on your next monthly statement? Or do they just not take it out when you stick the card in? Because the Filipino bank is going to take their money. You're not going to get around that. That would be like getting, hell, if that was the case, I'd be using my card. Because that would be like getting back, almost like, the 1% or 3% on your damn credit card. Yeah, you might be broke, and then you look back up and you have your ATM machine got $100 on it. Your ATM card of fees. Because those fees add up over here, man. And people can vouch for that. What's up? What time's it, Travels? When you coming back over here, man? Yeah, and I want to apologize, man. I want to send my sincerest condolences to a friend of mine who just passed away over here, Anthony Robinson, My sincerest condolences to his family. I met him. We were Facebook friends. And in 2017, I was still living in America. He had sponsored a basketball league, the whole league. He was sponsoring it in Bacala. And I was used to watch the games and stuff, and the kids and the players, they were playing either in barefoot, they had uniforms. They were playing either in barefoot or slippers. So I just asked all my Facebook friends. I didn't have a channel. There was no YouTube. There was no Sunshine Show. I said, hey, can you donate new, gently used, gym shoes so I could send over to him? And we ended up sending him like 70 pairs. This guy was a good guy. I don't know if he sponsored a gentleman's group in Bacala, but they would meet twice a month. I ended up meeting him one time, me and Marilyn in person. We were eating breakfast at the El Fisher, and just so happened that Thursday, and I think they met every other Thursday or whatever, they were eating breakfast there. And I finally met him in person, man. It's the guy, he didn't meet no strangers, man. He was full of life. He was young, too. He was in his 60s. And he died, man. John knew him. Remember John that was at my meet and greet? He's the one told me, man. And I was like, wow, man. So, yeah, I want to send my sincerest condolences to his family. Anybody that knew him knows that he was a real good guy, man. I always talk about it all the time. And, life is so precious. It's so sacred, man. But that's the human mind. We take it for granted. We think we're going to continue to be here until we're not, man. I've seen enough people die in my family to know, man, that life is precious, man. Hey, Cisco, thanks for the super chat. He said, I just wanted to drop the link for an authentic channel that deserves more viewers at Blizzard Abroad. Yeah, let me hit this real quick once this is over. Put his link, put Blizzard Abroad's link up there, guys. It's a lot of channels, but we're in charge of that a lot of times because if you wait on the algorithm, guys, it's not going to help anybody. It'll take you forever. If you don't have the help of and collaboration of other YouTubers, it usually takes about 2 years for you to get monetized. Unless you're one of these women on here. That's normal though. Unless your content is really popping. But we can get around that. But people, man, they be like, if I could just, just punch that like button or whatever it is. Let me watch the video for 3 minutes. How are you going to know what a video is about? That's why YouTube put that 3 minutes on there. Just because you see videos with all these views, that don't mean that they're getting paid for all those views. You got to watch the video. And it's sort of like the Philippines. They don't get as many visitors. Okay, say for instance, they fell behind Cambodia. Everybody wants to push that in my face. Oh, they're even below Cambodia. But I guarantee you, they collected more in immigration fees than Cambodia. Because you can't stay in Cambodia for 3 years in a row and paying all them fees. Okay, it's just the same as my channel, because if you look at my numbers, man, you be like, man, how in the world is this guy still getting 2,500 to 3,000 a month? Because people are watching my videos. They're not just clicking on them, A lot of the numbers that you see on my channel are true numbers. They're real numbers. So what? I got 4,000 views. I'm getting paid for all 4,000. That's how that works. I would rather get paid for a video with 4,000 views than have 10,000 and I'm only getting paid for 3,000 or whatever it is. I think that's good to stroke your ego. We ain't gonna do nothing for your paycheck on here. And don't get it twisted. It's all about the paycheck on YouTube if you can get it. It's only the people who can't get it who say, oh, they make a big deal out of it. Or they say you big or whatever it is. People earning millions on this damn YouTube. He said, Sunshine showed us who's the real winner in the end when the dust settles. Well, nobody. Like I said, that's what I said, it's so pervasive. That just refers to something that is widespread, often in a way that is difficult to avoid or eliminate. I'm just talking about it. Maybe when you can, when the dust settles and you realize this is how I'm choosing my women, maybe they can help you with a better outcome. Because it's true when they say, yeah, the average American adult has had 10 to 12 relationships. Just be honest with yourself. It's a lot, man. That's a lot of baggage and stuff that you have to sift through. And see, Filipino women, they don't even know that when you come over here because they're not looking at you as a real person. They've dehumanized you. You're a tool to get to where she wants to go. So it doesn't matter that you've had 10 or 12 women. Do you got a pension? That's really what it's all about. I'm sorry. Now, later on down the line, does feelings develop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. If you can take it from finance to romance, that's up to you. But in the beginning, she's looking at you like a machine. That's all you are. And you're looking at her like a piece of meat. And I'm going to beat it up every night or whatever. So, no, nobody wins in that. It's just that it's sad when I look at Booby and I look at Sophia and Sahara and the women who really mean something to me in my life, my mother, I think about my mother and my sisters, that this is how the world sees them. You know, this is the world we live in. That people are basically, your character has nothing to do with it a lot of times. He says black women here in the United States always say they're a boss. I guess some of them are. He said Navy Federal Credit Union gives uh, these lost fees back. Yeah, but how do they do it? If you do 10,000 pesos, is that all you're going to be charged? Are you charged and then they give it to you later on down the line? And is it okay if you put the ATM card in? Does Navy Federal not charge you, and then only the Philippines charges you, and then gives you back those charges, or do both of them charge you, and then they give you back both charges at the end, beginning of the next business cycle or whatever? I'm just trying to figure out how that works. He said, "Why are we bringing up black women?" I don't know. They do everything on here, man. Uh, no matter what you do, it's not enough. I was married to a beautiful black woman for 18 years. 16 really. The last 2 years didn't count, but it doesn't matter. Now all of a sudden, I hate black women. People say I'm a sellout. I was 55 when I moved over here. So you get to a stage in your life where you really don't care what people think about you. Life is a miracle, man. You don't know how much time you got here. This man, but his woman loved him. I don't know if they were married or not, but they've been together for a long time. And he never went back home. He stayed here. He told me at El Fisher, he was like, well, they don't, I'm nothing there. I'm no big deal there. I want to see my kids and this and that. He said, but the minute I get there, I know I'm going to be ready to come back. So however long, what year he came over here? I want to say 2015 or 16. Until the day he died, he never went back. But his woman loved him, man. This guy was full of life. Now he's gone, man. But it doesn't matter. Death should teach us more than it does. But that's just the way the human mind is. 2 weeks later, we'll forget all about that. And we'll still talk crazy to people. We'll still get mad at our family members and our girlfriend, our wife over something petty. We're still going to stress that the guy owes you $20 on the job. Man, if you guys only knew, man, people been dead a long, long time. And you're going to be dead a long, long time. He said, hey, Mike, it's not all good, brother, living a good life with my nice retirements with my beautiful lady. That's really all that should matter. But we stress over the stupidest stuff on here. What did Thomas say? What did you say, Thomas? I must have missed that. He said, wait, Cal, you don't have Navy Fed. It's a veterans credit union back in America. And the fees they give back are ATM fees. No, I don't. See, where I am, I don't even think we got a Navy Federal credit union. Maybe it just wasn't on my mind. I wasn't even thinking about when I went back to America, but I heard of Navy Federal Credit Union. I was a member of it when I was in Norfolk, Virginia, but I don't have it. No, I've heard of it. I don't know how that. I was asking him how it works. How are the fees given back to you? No one still answered that question yet. Or maybe I missed it. Maybe I need to go back. How do they give it back to you? Maybe you can tell me. He said, check out building a house in the Philippines. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break down and get a. He said, Philippine Adventures and more with Mike and Joanna. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I met him in Bohol around Christmas time. When we were there with the brother Max from New Zealand. He's a good guy, Max. But yeah, I met this guy. I got a picture with him on my phone. He said, something wrong with your super chat, No, yeah, not enough. That's about the only thing wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with it. I think sometimes it's YouTube. I mean, StreamYard or YouTube. But if, now that video's uploaded, is my video better or is it still choppy? Because I'm thinking maybe he was right. Blizzard Broad said maybe because you're uploading the video at the same time. Do y'all see a difference now? You know the crazy thing about super chats, guys. Let me bring this up. It's almost like with rich people. Hey, the Beach of Life, man. Thanks, man. You know you one of my biggest supporters, man. He said just burning this milestone chat. Hit the like, B. But you're the one that inspired me to get this new mic. I'm gonna get the real mic, but hell, it's too late now. I can't interview anybody on the street. They're gonna lock me up if I listen to y'all. Hey, what's up, Blizzard, bro? He said, I appreciate you, brother Cal. Hey, thanks, man. You know, it's big coming from you because I know you lost your job and stuff like that, man. You know, more success to you, brother. It's coming. You just got to stick with it, man. YouTube uses that as like a filter, really. You know, a sifter. You know, okay, you want to get on YouTube? You want to earn some money? Okay, we're gonna test your patience. We're gonna test how thick of skin do you have, because they're gonna come for you. If you talk about anything that's interesting, they're coming. Certainly when you get a certain level, man. I never seen this coming. I never seen it coming, not hot and heavy as it is, but you know, I'm like a tree planted by the water, man. I should not be moved. Y'all heard that song before. They thrown everything at me but the kitchen sink, man. But they still keep doing it. You know, it's a shame that, I want to take Maryland to Thailand next month. And I'm probably going to take her anyway. But my only hesitation is I always get harassed when I come back into the country. I'm thinking to myself, why don't y'all take that stuff out of your system? It's not true. It's not real. I never done anything over here. But, that stuff is still there. It took this time. I don't know if the universe was looking after me when I came back from America. The head guy was there. He's the one, when it was all said and done, he looked at me, he was like, come with me. And I'm thinking, oh man, they ain't gonna let me in. I said, where are we going? He said, to get your passport stamped. And he went over there and he stood by the guy and he started pointing at stuff and the guy was doing this and that. So maybe he took it out, I'm hoping. But it's sad, man, that because you see these other vloggers, they're coming in and out of the Philippines. They don't get those fake charges lobbed on them and stuff like that. So be careful what you wish for, guys. You might get it. You want a successful YouTube channel. Can you handle it, though? Can you stand the attention, though, too? Do you have time for everybody? I try to give my time, man, as much as I can. Once you gain a following like that and you're willing to, acknowledge people and, and thank them for their support, it takes a lot of your time because I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Brandon Rice when he reached out to me. He said, I can't even believe you emailed me back, because we was on Zoom the other day. He's got Zoom. Hell, I might want to try to make some videos on Zoom. It was so clear and everything. But he was like, he said this, I didn't. He's a younger guy. I think he's like 43 or something. He said, I reached out to all those guys over there. Nobody, the ones that he thought that could help him. He said, nobody responded. He said, you don't even want to respond. I take pride in that, man, because I'm, like I told him, I'm just a regular guy. But it was somebody else I met in person who told me that just here recently. And I'm thinking to myself, it's no big deal to me, but to them it is. Because some of these guys, they do become celebrities over here. And they don't want nothing to do with you. And I can't understand it because without the viewers and subscribers, we're nothing anyway. I do the meet and greets for y'all. I don't do them for me. People don't understand that. But without that, man, I wouldn't have met without my YouTube channel, man, I've met some of the most outstanding people on the planet from all over the world. Remember, I told you Max was from New Zealand. Now I can say I've met somebody from all around the world because I never known anyone personally from New Zealand. He laid it out for my whole family. Imagine it's this guy did. He said, yeah, I've been watching your channel because I met him in Bohol before, right when the Philippines first opened up. Man, this guy's a great guy, man. He lives in New Zealand. And of course, I have so many friends from Australia, so many from the Philippines. I mean, from all over, man. Japan, JR from over in Japan. Many in Thailand. When I went to Thailand, I was shocked because I'm thinking these guys don't, nobody knows me over here. Shit. I went to Soy 6 every Tom, Dick, and Harry knew me. Thomas said, yeah, they give the fees back in a week to a month. Okay, just the ATM fees, though. Okay, so what other kind of fees are you being charged? He said, yeah, thanks for the welcome, man. I thought I would check in again. Well, I asked you a long time ago, I wanted to interview you, but you said, no, you didn't want to. I guess you didn't want the exposure. I believe that's what you said. You said I changed my mind at that time. But I've helped a lot of channels, man, because I'm telling you something. Just the same way people help me. The algorithm doesn't see you, but you can get around that algorithm if you got some help. I don't think we help enough. We don't help each other enough in the YouTube community because a lot of these big channels, they don't need you. So they say, well, why even waste my time? But when they needed you, remember when Filipino P started out, guys? Y'all don't remember, but I do. When Gio and them, Old Dog New Tricks, when they were interviewing her before she even had, she just got started. Without them, the algorithm would have treated her the same way they treat everybody else. It's the same with me. Black American Expat Radio, Vagabond Waves. Who else? Even Andy Omar did a video about me before. But maybe 4 or 5 people, I'm trying to think who else. The cat like Vagabond Waves really kind of threw me out there. Because at that time he had like 30,000 subscribers. I just thought he might go ahead 1,000,000. I'm like, I could never have 30,000. But we need to help each other. Otherwise, man, you're just gonna be talking into the universe. Nobody's watching. And you want to get your message out. You really want to help people. And the only reason you're gonna do that is if somebody's watching. But you can't be, he said Navy Federal is not accepted everywhere. Wow. And thanks for this information. I know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what it is. But whenever I go to the Metro Bank, my card they won't accept my card. It always says unable to complete the transaction. When I go to the Metro Bank, any other bank but the Metro Bank, BDO, BPI, China Bank, that's the first time I ever used that AUB bank. It's like red and yellow. I think it's Australian bank or something, or Asian something bank. It was the first time I ever used it yesterday. It worked. But Metro Bank, I get it, but it's got all the Visa and MasterCard, blah, blah, blah. But every time I try to use it, yeah, I know I can. Like I said, I don't want to do it online. I don't do that stuff online. I wasn't thinking about it. You're talking about 40 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, because that's how I got my car financed. I had a Regal. I love that Regal. And I want to say I got it through the Navy Federal Credit Union. What other credit union could it have been? But I could be wrong. Yeah, I got that Regal, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. Hey, Q in the Philippines, thanks for that super chat. I'm gonna have to. It's showing down. I'm on my phone. Let me see. No, it's not. Not gonna let me move it up. So you gotta wait till I can move it up. But thanks for that super chat. But yeah, we really need to help each other more. Because you don't want to be talking out here in the universe, man. That's why you get discouraged and you stop. And YouTube knows that. But once you get going, man, they're gonna help you because they want you to be successful because there's more money they're gonna make and more ads they can sell. I can give it to YouTube though, man. People talk about YouTube, but imagine if Facebook paid like YouTube pays. They do, but you need a much more bigger audience and views and stuff. Man, I got 10,000. I got more than 10,000 on my Sunshine Shoulders Facebook page, but I don't even. It takes 6 months for me to even get $1. But I don't put a whole lot of content on there, but it doesn't work the same way. I don't know of any other platform has the type of revenue sharing with their creators as Google does. When in fact, it's all the same. Without us, there is no Google, there is no YouTube. Without us, there is no Facebook, there is no Instagram, and all of that. There's no Twitter. We're working for them for free, basically. We're giving them all their content for nothing. I think y'all know that. That's why Instagram was able to replace Kodak. With only 13 employees, Kodak had what, 270,000 or something? Because they don't have to pay a salary to us. They're using our pictures, our videos, and all our content to get rich. And that's why when people say, oh, it's Facebook, because the guy gave the scenario, he said, okay, would you rather pay $9.99 a month to have Facebook, but sharing the revenue, or get it for free? Of course, everybody said get it for free. They're making all kind of money off your back. So at least I give YouTube that. Once you reach a certain level, man, at least, they're saying, okay, we're going to share some of the revenue with you. So people can say what they want to say about content creators. They can say what they want to say about YouTube, but it's very few platforms that do that. I mean, YouTube created a whole new revenue stream for people like me. I mean, some people, man, they can't even get a job at home and they're earning 10, 15, 20,000 a month on YouTube. Now, how's that going, unless they're paying their taxes, how's that going to help them when it's time for them to draw Social Security? I don't know. You just got to wait until that time comes. But there's some people who don't even have a job. YouTube is their job. YouTube is their business. And they're traveling all over the world. And I think this is where the problem comes from. I think this is the reason why YouTubers get so much pushback and so much hate, because people want to be them. They don't want to go to this job that they hate. They would rather be in Rio de Janeiro. They would rather be in Manila, Thailand. They see you kicking back, doing what they want to do. It creates some type of animosity in their minds. Yeah, they're normal people, remember, because a normal person would save their money, and get everything together and go ahead and make the trip. But yeah, so I can understand, the animosity and stuff. Okay, Q, I'll be able to get you. It's moving now again. But yeah, YouTube ain't no joke, man. People hate that. They hate that because they're going to work and funky ass jobs, many jobs that I used to work. I had a friend, he passed on three Mays ago, 3 years ago. His name was Vincent Woods. And I used to sell him clothes out of the back of my trunk. And he said, man, you would make a great insurance agent. And I was like, man, I don't know how to sell no insurance. Hey, there it is, Q. Thank you, man, for the super chat. Said, sending my condolences, Now, I don't understand why you're shocked. I learned this from you. Don't mistake confidence with arrogance. Black men need to have high standards. Cisco, take notes. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't think I'm the boss over here, And if I do, I wouldn't say it. There's a thin line we walk over here. Remember, we're on YouTube. We're doing something a lot of people would love to do. We're in the Philippines. A lot of people, they can't, for whatever reason, they can't make it over here to these places. It doesn't matter what people say about the infrastructure and all that, man. If you're in America, these are some exotic destinations. And they see the life you're living over here. You're with a woman that they can only dream about having. So that's why you have to walk a thin line with certain people, because they'll get so mad at you, man, that lie, false allegations. They'll try to bring you down when it's not going to benefit them any. They're just somewhere hiding behind the shadow, somewhere hiding in the shadow. Oh, I took him down. That's why I say it's good to have confidence. Man, I've been in sales, man, for 20 years, over 20 years. Without confidence, you're not going to do anything. But this guy, Vincent Woods, he said, man, he changed my life. Everything that I have today is a result of me helping somebody and then somebody helping me, or vice versa. Had he not seen whatever he saw in me, I wouldn't be sitting here probably. I couldn't tie a tie. I didn't even have a pair of dress shoes. I'm selling clothes and whatever it is, shoes, jewelry, silverware, just anything I could buy for a cheaper price and resell it out of the back of my trunk, taking care of my family. When I first got sober, that was in 1998, so it's around 2000, 2001. I had no dress clothes. I had nothing like that. But he said, yeah, I think you can do it. And it changed my life, man. But thank you, man, for that. Yeah, this guy Anthony, man's a great guy, and he was a visionary in a way. He knew that you needed friends over here. He knew that you needed support over here. So they would meet twice a month. I think it was like 9 or 10 of them. Blizzard Brown says, I believe I've gotten over 400 subscribers from you, Brother Cal. No way to be absolutely sure. It's not enough. It's not enough. It should be more, man. But I can't tell people what to talk about. When I didn't even know what to talk about myself, so I talked about my life over here. Just what I was seeing around me, how I was living, what I was experiencing. And it resonated with people. It's certainly during the pandemic. And then when I started talking about jumping off the damn hamster wheel, man, that's when things really took off. But you grow, okay? That's what they tell you. You're either going to grow or you're going to go. I'm not the same vlogger that I used to be 5 years ago. People say, oh, you changed. Of course I changed. That's been 5 years. People are watching me now. It's certain things, I wouldn't say any more because I know better now. I didn't know better then that I was objectifying people and, stepping on toes over here, just talking about my life. But I'm not going to change. I might change my content, but I'm not going to change. I'm always going to tell you just how it is. But a lot of the stuff I put out there, I see other people doing it. The tune up. You never heard of Filipino tune up nowhere but out of my mouth and all that stuff like that. He said, now the P don't pay those guys any attention anymore. I guess she's too large now. Well, it's, in my opinion, to whom much is given, much is expected. Okay. Now, I haven't seen her helping a lot of her sisters. The P's got so much influence, guys. Y'all just don't know. But they don't exercise it. For whatever reason, it could be their culture. I just don't know. If you think I got influence, man, I only got more influence. I got more influence than her is because she doesn't use her influence. By her being a woman, I guess it's different. She can't have meet and greet. She can't have live streams. People go crazy over her. She's really a celebrity for real in our eyes, in a lot of people's eyes. They never talk about her pocket, but they're always in my pocket. But I think, that You can't forget, you can't change people though, but you can't forget where you come from. And I keep the focus on me because I don't know, I've never met her. She doesn't need me, first of all. It's not gonna, it could hurt her channel to have me on there. I'm gonna subscribe you at Sunshine Shoulders on there. But she's certainly big. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen her have any of those other channels on there. Not that they need her. Over here, hell, all you got to do is be a woman, throw on a bikini, splash around the water a little bit. That's all. He says, a lot of these banks won't let me have an account over here. Yeah, you got to go to the right one, but it's the law, though. The Philippines changed the law, Thomas. It's the law that they will allow you to have a bank account over here. You just have to, you can't go to the big ones. They're going to put you through the ringer unless you're an SRV visa holder or something, or 13A. If you're a permanent resident, yeah, but if you're like us, there's only certain ones. John put me up on PNB. That's why I went to Philippine National Bank. And it's one of the best banks over here, by the way. Everywhere I go, there's a PNB bank. The people know me by name. They give you the personal service that I like. But he already gave me his story. His testimony is like, I tried BDO, I tried BPI, they wouldn't let me do it. I believe somebody told him, Thomas, PNB. But it's a lot of other little banks that you can open up an account with. But I'm so glad I got mine, man. I mean, it's one of the best decisions I made because I waited for years before I got my bank account over here because I was so afraid. Because when I came over here, man, these banks were dropping like flies. I mean, they were closing every other day. People on the news crying. I mean, just thousands of people are trying to get in to get they lost their life savings. And I said, man, I never open up a bank account here. But I'm so glad I did now. And then I only keep a certain amount in there. I don't keep a whole lot. Certainly not my life savings. But when you have banks like that, it helps you. Like when I built my house, I had a place where I could safely go, transfer the money, then I could safely go and give it to the engineer. And it's on record in their bank because I had to show them all sorts of stuff when he was building my house. The bills he was giving me and stuff like that. He said, Sophie Bank doesn't charge ATM fees overseas. But getting a bank account is one of the best things I did. It saves you a lot of money, and because y'all don't understand, man, these fees cost a lot of money. It's going to cost you a lot of money over here, guys. You don't think it is. But that's $50, $100 a month, man, adds up real quick. At the end of the year, you done just burned up $1,000, $1,500 worth of, bank fees, ATM fees, remittance fees. See, this is what we don't think all the way through. This is a lot of stuff. We only got to focus on the woman. That's all we're focused on. And we think, I can take care of everything else. No, you need to take care of everything else because the woman's going to be there. Yeah, but that bank account, man, one of the best ones I did. Yeah, I love it. Johnny said, I'm under 400. Yeah, he said the boss. Yeah, but you ain't even the boss at work. He said, seems like TikTok might be second for money. Well, I'm not sure. I've never even tried TikTok. I've got a Patreon, and I really, Patreon, I'm just not trying to understand Patreon. People join your Patreon. They really don't join it for your content. They join it to help you because a lot of times, people like me, I don't have sponsorships. See, there's a lot of things I can't do on YouTube that a lot of other people do because I don't have the right type of visa. I don't want to get in any trouble. But so that's their pitch. They'll say like secular talk. They got Cal something. At the end of his videos, he'll say, support my Patreon page because I don't, get paid from sponsorships and I don't get paid from this and that. It's just strictly this, YouTube. But I used to have maybe, I think I've got like 23 paying members on my Patreon right now. I don't know. I just, that's one thing I do look at. I do look at the support I get versus other channels. And I don't understand why I don't get that kind of support. I do, but I'm saying, but I don't. When I see other channels, I guess it's because of it could be the content. I don't know. Because if you look at lesser channels, the channels I think that, yeah, my content's a lot better, my audience and my support is a lot better. Man, the support they get. But maybe it's just superficial. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm just speaking out loud, guys. Okay. I don't need your money right now. In the beginning, I did, but you know, either way, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You either aren't gonna get it, or if you get in it, here they come. Oh, he's an e-big, or he needs YouTube, and you know what I'm saying. But nobody's told me how they um how they get their money back yet. He said Facebook RPM is about half of YouTube, but Facebook has a larger worldwide install base. I did the research a while ago. It may have changed. Yeah, I'm just saying that there's people who get paid on YouTube, but you really got to be big. I mean, you really got to have just a mega following. Imagine Mr. Beast. I don't even think he's really on Facebook. Does he post on Facebook? This guy became a billionaire on YouTube. That's why you got to put respect on YouTube, man. I don't know what the problem people got with YouTube. They try to shame you for being on YouTube. Are you stupid, man? You got to be stupid to think like that. Oh, I'm using my wealth. I don't need to be on YouTube. Well, you're a fool. If you could get traction on YouTube, you wouldn't have to use your wealth. But he became a billionaire on YouTube. Now, does he have help? Absolutely. Once you get a certain amount of subscribers and stuff like that, man, YouTube really helps you. You see those guys like I Show Speed and those guys like that. Man, YouTube is cranking them out there. When he came here at I Show Speed, I think he had like he got like 1 million subscribers in one day. So that means the money that you're being paid for your ads and stuff like that, it goes up. So that's how they make all those millions on YouTube. But you're just a regular guy, like me and others, you're not going to get that rate like that. It's different for everybody. He said they also rather be on OnlyFans getting a real big money. Well, it just depends, though. Everybody, it's like everybody on YouTube isn't getting paid. Everybody on OnlyFans isn't getting paid. If you're, like I said, if you're a bad bitch, then you probably, with some notoriety, because I'm pretty sure they've got an algorithm too. Hassan, I'm pretty sure of that. They've got an algorithm too. Everybody on OnlyFans ain't making no money. Imagine being on there showing everything, sucking dicks and all that, and you ain't even getting paid for it. People just laughing at you. He said, Blizzard, I'm not sounding arrogant, but I say 500 a month for 20 years. I let that marinate, bro. Your investment is a long-term strategy. That's why I couldn't do it. I was never taught that. You know, I grew up in a household where my mother was living paycheck to paycheck. And that's what I picked up. He said exactly why I don't say it, but I, my woman know it. Yeah, well, it's one thing that the Filipinos will do. When you become the boss in their mind, they'll start calling you daddy. That's the, I mean, for the longest. I mean, Merlin's the only one that's ever called me that, and she refers to me as that because I hear it in other relationships, but none of the other Filipino women that I've ever dealt with ever called me that. But Marilyn refers to me to that when she talks to certain people and stuff like that. That's a signal that yeah, you're the boss. You got a, you play a significant role in the household when they start calling you that, because they're all of them don't call you that, and you don't get everybody doesn't get called that. Because I used to think it was cringy at first, but the longer you stay around and the more you see how things move over here, the more you start understanding things. People who don't like the Philippines, they just don't stay here long enough. It's a lot of small stuff over here that can drive you crazy. If you don't sweat the small stuff, man, this place ain't bad for real, man. I'm not telling you that just to say it. Man, y'all, if y'all only knew how picky I was. I'm a Gemini, man. I get bored. I've never gotten bored with the Philippines. I like nice stuff too. Yeah, he said, oh, well, only fan payouts have been dropping steadily. Too many creators, fatigue, etc. Yeah. And like I said, unless you are really like, why would you go on OnlyFans when you could go on Pornhub? And now, if you somebody famous, now you go on to OnlyFans. If you one of them big top notch strippers, and if you just super bad, okay, then you're gonna make it. It's the competition, man. It's the same on YouTube, but YouTube just have more algorithm working, man. You can get through in so many different ways, but that OnlyFans is only based on your appearance a lot of times. Unless not a lot of your ability. A lot of these women on Pornhub, man, they got some ability. They don't be looking like nothing. Yeah, yeah, they got leverage, but they still. He said once YouTube achieved the status as the most watched platform, they have leverage over creators. But they also share that wealth and that success. I mean, man, I'm blown away. I never even knew. I'm telling you how naive I was on YouTube. I didn't even knew you could earn money on YouTube for real. I just thought it was a place where you come and watch music videos and documentaries. I never knew that somebody like me could get on here and start making videos and earn money. And I speak from it, man, humbly when I say that some people heard that I know just earn just unbelievable amounts of money, and it'll shock you, man. When just regular guys that you think you're looking at them on YouTube is regular, man, they're pulling in 15, 20,000 a month on YouTube. It's a lot of money, man. That's just on YouTube, not the other things they're doing. See, one thing that I admired about what's that guy's name? The something lawyer. You know the guy, the something lawyer. What's his name? Well, he was transparent. He did all his stuff. He showed how much he was getting from Patreon, from YouTube, and from somewhere else. Man, this guy was clocking. You just wouldn't believe the money he was earning on these platforms. Just what's his name? The something attorney is what it is. The black guy. I think he was earning over 200,000 a month. You know, most of it was coming from YouTube and uh, Patreon, but it was something else, some other platform he was using. He was earning like 10,000 a month on that. This guy was up to like 200,000. The lead attorney, that's his name. He showed everybody what he was making. You know, it's just if you got that kind of appeal, it's Facebook. It ain't nothing to laugh at, dude. YouTube is nothing to laugh at. He said, "Bro, you got some good beers. You talking about uh, Blizzard Abroad?" He's not afraid to talk. Blizzard Abroad talks about stuff that are you talking about me calling voice speech? If you are, thank you. Raymond Walker says, "You're an inspiration, Cal." He said, "Watching you really helped me before coming here, and you still help me with advice now that I'm here." Well, I appreciate it, man. That's all we're trying to be. But yeah, the boss, she's the real boss. She's come in now and tell me to get off because I'm gonna take a shower, and go get something to eat. Yeah, we bought some cheese bread yesterday, and we boiled some eggs, but you know, I gotta have salt and pepper with my eggs, at least hot sauce and soy sauce. I can't just eat Merlin can just eat a boiled egg like that. Plain. I can't do it. Are you stupid? She came in and took up. Y'all probably saw something. I don't know. Adam, you are goofy. Well, okay, guys, thank you for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. I'm going to get off here, man. I'm in Dumageddon, man. I'll be here probably till Friday because they got some crazy changes going on. I can't get my passport till tomorrow. If y'all want to go out to eat or something, man, walk up and down. I think we're going to walk on the boulevard today. I won't be making no videos like that, though. But I'll see y'all next time. Nah,